Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll touch base with the Vernon Hills Police Department for some important back-to-school safety reminders. We'll get ready for Oktoberfest, planned for Saturday, September 26th in the Vernon Hills Metro parking lot. We'll talk with Jeff Fougeroux, Executive Director of the Vernon Hills Park District, about a variety of plans and activities, including the acquisition of the Opa restaurant property, as well as the renovation of the Kids Castle in Deer Path Park. We'll learn about the upcoming Lady Cougar feeder basketball tryouts coming up in early October. And we'll provide information about the Vernon Hills Public Works Open House, scheduled for September 15th. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.
Hi, I'm Kim Christensen with the Vernon Hills Police Department's Crime Prevention Unit. By the time you see this, it's going to be September. School's going to be in full swing. Right now, it's mid-August when we're filming this, and we're in front of Hawthorne School. You can see one of the Hawthorne School buildings over my right shoulder here. Right now, there's no traffic out here. But come September, there's going to be cars, there's going to be trucks, there's going to be buses, and of course, there's going to be a lot of children. So let's use the next few minutes as an opportunity just to go over a few safety manners. I know you've probably heard them before, but let's review them again. And let's focus first on a couple things about children, just as a gentle reminder. Motorists, remember please that school-aged children can become easily distracted. They may start across the street without warning at all. Children just don't understand the dangers of moving vehicles, the geometry, the physics, all that kind of stuff. It's even hard for adults to judge vehicle distance or distance from vehicles. It's especially harder for children, so please give them a break. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Children may be blocked from view by a school bus or a car or a truck or anything, so be looking for them. Please be watching for those children, and most importantly, children expect vehicles to stop for them at school bus stops. But however, first thing in the morning, evening rush hour, motorists have a lot on their minds. As drivers, we have a lot on our minds. So watch for the children, please, and expect the unexpected. First thing, let's talk about school zones, school speed limits, and crosswalks. And let's talk about this, the school speed zone. You know, a school speed zone in Illinois is 20 miles an hour. That's the speed limit. What you might not know is in Illinois, a school speed zone takes effect from 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon on school days when children are present. Now, the Vernon Hills Police Department enforce this very strictly. You don't want to get a ticket. Please, if you're in a school zone, these signs are all over. 20 miles an hour. Okay, so we've covered school zone speed limits, 20 miles an hour. You see the signs, listen to it please on school days when children are present, 20 miles an hour. Okay, now let's talk about crosswalks for a minute, and a couple points I want you to remember. The first is, if you see a marked crosswalk, remember that drivers must come to a complete stop. Not just slow down, you have to come to a complete stop and yield when a pedestrian is in a marked crosswalk. Now, however, on school days, you have to come to a complete stop and yield when children are in close proximity to a school zone crosswalk. Not in it, but in close proximity to it. It's important to remember that. Okay, now let's talk about a topic that always comes up when we do these segments for the update show, cell phone usage. We've talked about it again and again and again. This sign behind me actually has been up for several years, because up until a couple of years ago, you probably remember that the law was different. There was a separate section of the law. The law was a little more strict when it came to school zones, when it came to cell phone use. However, as you know, since January 1st, 2014, with some exceptions, including hands-free and calling 911, it is illegal to use a cell phone when you're operating a vehicle. Let this sign serve as a warning that applies everywhere. But please, you're going to see the sign in school zones, especially in a school zone. Be mindful of that law. Again, that is something that the Vernon Hills Police Department does enforce on a regular basis. I know that a lot of people use cell phones. I see it every day. You see it every day when you're driving. As time goes on, more and more and more people are going to be ticketed for it. Don't you be one of them. Please, especially in school zones, when there's so many children around, cannot stress the importance enough of paying attention and being alert while you're driving. Well, okay, let's talk about school buses and the lights on a school bus and what they mean to you as a driver. Now, a school bus flashing yellow lights, those are a warning that the bus will soon be stopping to load or unload passengers. The driver will activate these during the last 100 feet the bus is traveling before coming to a stop. So if you see those flashing yellow lights, you should be ready to stop. The extended stop signal arm and flashing red lights advise motorists the bus has stopped and is in the process of loading or unloading passengers. Okay, let's clear up a common misunderstanding about stopping for a school bus. On a 2-lane road, when a bus is stopped to pick up or drop off students, vehicles traveling in both directions must stop. Now, as a motorist, a vehicle should stop at least 20 feet, approximately 20 feet from the vehicle, from the bus, to give the student room to cross the street. Now, what about a 4-lane road? Or more, 4 or more lane road? On a street with 4 or more lanes, when there is at least 2 lanes of travel in each direction, only vehicles traveling in the same direction as the bus have to stop when the bus is stopped to pick up or drop off students. Vehicles traveling in the opposing direction of travel, in the opposing 2 lanes, do not. And probably a common example of that in Vernon Hills is Hawthorne Parkway, which is right behind me in front of Hawthorne Schools. You can see there's 4 lanes. A violation of this law can include a suspension of your driver's license and a fine of up to $150 for your first offense. After that, the penalty is harsher. Now keep in mind that this law applies in parking lots also, not just on the street. So pretty much at any location when you see a bus with the red lights flashing and it's stopped to pick up or drop off passengers, you have to stop. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. And please, please be careful when you're driving. Watch out for children. It's all about keeping everybody safe. Well, on behalf of Chief Mark Fleischauer and everybody at the Vernon Hills Police Department, thank you very much for doing your part to keep the community safe. And we'll see you next time.
Well, it's a beautiful, still summer day as we're sitting at the Village Hall to talk to Miss Monica Lundin about Oktoberfest. Can you believe we're talking Oktoberfest already? I guess we should say like Guten Tag or whatever those things you're supposed to say.
I was waiting for you to say that. You usually say something like
well,
that.
I only know 2 words, and I hope Hair Care at District 128 isn't listening because I'm not very good at it. You give me some German.
Oh, wie geht's es Ihnen?
Yeah. Very good.
How are
Okay.
you?
How are you? So there we go. So when is Oktoberfest? It's September 26th, Saturday, September 26th. That's really the German way, too, to do it in September, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what year are we at for Oktoberfest?
11th.
Man, time flies, and fall is coming quickly, so we want everybody ready for this. So let's tell everybody what time, where, again, so everybody can get it on their calendar.
Okay, so we're going to have this on September 26th. It's a Saturday. It's from 3 to 10. Of course, we're going to have all the freebies that we always have.
And let me interrupt you. It's at Metro, right? So if people know where Metro Station is, there's a lot of parking usually. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of parking there. The French Market is going to be there in the morning, and then we're going to have ours. They stop about 1 o'clock, and then we'll still be setting up for the Oktoberfest, which starts at 3. It is at the Metro Station, which the address is 75 Route 45, if anybody doesn't know, across from Centennial Crossing, a beautiful subdivision we have. We're going to have the face painting by Tricosi University Beauty Culture. They're going to
They do a great job.
Oh
Don't
my
they?
gosh, crazy good. Thank them so much because they're donating their time. We have the inflatables. Recorder Hits is going to do the inflatables again. We've got the kids crafts. They're being sponsored by Rust-Oleum this year. Thank you so much, Rust-Oleum. They are so generous, that company. We've got the petting zoo. We've got the hay rides, which is sponsored by the Vernon Hills Park District. They also have a booth that they're going to be giving away free trees. We have
Said free trees?
Yes.
Like like the kind we could plant in our yard.
plant ones. Yeah. It's nice.
Interesting, yeah.
They've done this several years.
Okay. I might not get there early enough because we do have to remind people sometimes things run out. Like those kids crafts,
Oh.
those they start right away at 3, and sometimes you got to get in line, and sometimes hundreds and hundreds of kids come through.
Oh, absolutely. And we also have Holly, the balloon artist from Twist and Shout Balloonist. She's fabulous. Everybody knows about her. That's being sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, nice.
And we have 500 pie pumpkins that are coming in from Home Depot. They'll bring their employees. They're going to help all the kids paint. Now, of course, the crafts, the pumpkins, and the trees, it's only until they last, so when they're done and there's no crafts, there's no trees, and there's no pumpkins left, that's done because we can only have so much. The balloon artist and the face painting is strictly 3 to 5. That's it. When when it hits 5 o'clock, they're done.
Yeah.
They have to leave at that time.
Yeah, so I know sometimes people are in line and it's disappointing, so kind of time yourself and get there early.
It's so disappointing. I know the kids. I see the kids' faces. I feel bad, but this is what is scheduled, and we can't go off
Yeah,
the
they've
schedule.
got other things to do.
Yeah, they have another event that they all have to go to. So the band this year is Seventh Heaven. We're only having one. They're playing from 7 to 10. They are phenomenal. They are being sponsored by Advanced Disposal. This is so awesome. This is I believe it's their 30th anniversary, and they did a big production where they had, at the beginning of the year, they did cruise where everybody could go on this cruise with them. They're giving away prizes throughout the year for their anniversary. I believe they're giving away a car, and I'm not sure if ours is the last one or they've got one more event after ours before they give the car away. But how cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, and they are so good.
They're
That's
great. Yeah.
70s, 80s music, which, who doesn't like that?
That's right in our wheelhouse, but it does resonate with most of our folks who are out there for the the refreshment tent and everything from 7 to 10.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have the wine and beer. The wine is going to be sponsored by Red Line Cellars. They're in town. It's an internet wine company. Mariano's. It's fabulous. I mean, how could you not? Summer Celebration Committee will be doing your bartenders. All the nonprofits we have, which are fabulous, will be out there again selling burgers and Baker Square Pies, who donates most of the pies. Corn from Didier's, pizza, pop, water, Lions Club, Youth and Family Counseling, Cougar Parent Connection. The Vernon Hills Seniors, Spay and Stay, District 76, the Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts from 274. One of them's going to do survival bracelets. The other's doing cotton candy or nachos. It's fabulous.
And let's remind people, if they've not been there before, it is like everybody has a booth,
Right.
and you go to each booth and you pay your money, and that money goes back to those organizations.
Absolutely. All the money from the food booths is theirs. They don't pay for a booth. We have them in there on purpose for free because we want them to make money. And, you like to give back. We are a big, generous village that loves to give back. The biggest thank you goes out to the mayor and the village board and trustees and the staff, the village staff. I can't say enough about Public Works or the village hall or the police department because they're all there 100% backing this. We started this 11 years ago with Katrina, and we raised $50,000 in 2 weeks. We put it on an event. It was fabulous.
Right.
And
For Hurricane Katrina, some of our younger viewers don't remember Hurricane Katrina, but that was devastating, and the village swung into action and found a way to give $50,000, and the celebration continued after that. But it does have that community feel. This isn't summer celebration. There are no carnival rides, although those inflatables in the afternoon are pretty fabulous. I mean, it's not just one slide and done. It's a lot of stuff. It's for the community.
Absolutely. We have a big raffle too, and all the proceeds from the raffle go to that, go to the nonprofits also. All the businesses in town have donated gift cards and baskets and what have you. And it's a fabulous raffle, but all the money goes to that. So it's a $5 raffle ticket. How great is that? And you can get a prize that's $50 or more. So it's a win-win for the nonprofits. It's a win-win for our businesses because they get promoted that way also. I do want to shout out a couple sponsors and thank them. Home Depot, because they donate all the pumpkins. They donate all the decorations for this event.
And getting them there, that's small.
Yeah. And their staff comes out. Mariano's, Ernie's C-Store Car Wash and Gas and Wrecking. Windy City Amusements, they give us the booth so that we can have a money booth to pay for the beer tickets, because that's all you're paying for is beer and wine tickets. Everything else is free, except that you have to pay each vendor for the food. Windy City Novelties, Buffalo Wild Wings, Advanced Disposal, Walmart. I can't say enough about Walmart and their donations. Hits Pizza and Rust-Oleum. It's just, they just go on, with everything that they do and how much they give back. And we're just extremely grateful because it is a nice, warm fuzzy.
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, we think of our town, we think, well, maybe we don't know each other very well, but we forget we've got all these organizations in town that are huge. They're internationally recognized organizations. They're, very, very influential groups of people, and they give back to this town here. Right. And then it's so nice to get together and give back to all those nonprofits who take care of our town, and just to get together with neighbors. It does get a little bit more adult time in the in the evening as the kids' things wind down, 3 to 5, and then it gets a little bit more. It's the bands, it's the chance to socialize.
Right, but it's not that you can't have your kids there, because we do not. It's a family event. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's a community family event. It's really a fun event, and we hope you all come out for this because you're going to meet some new neighbors, maybe meet new friends. It's a good community event.
It's a pretty cheap evening, I'm telling you.
Very cheap evening, yeah.
And it's right here. It's like having another festival right here in town. So that's Saturday, September 26th, 3 to 10 at the Metro Station. There's information on the village website. You'll see posters around town. If you want to know, more, if you want to help, Monica's here at the village hall, but there are a lot of people to thank, especially the village board and all the staff people and all the people that get behind this.
Absolutely. The village president, the village trustees, and the village department heads, all the village staff from all 3 buildings, they are just extremely wonderful to be able to put on an event like this, and thank everybody that has done this, because without them it would not be able to happen at all. The village president and the village trustees, they love to give back. Look at what they've done. They do the Alzheimer's luncheon. They do Summer Sale. They just keep going, and they just keep giving back, and we should really thank them. And it's a wonderful family event, and we couldn't have done this without any of those people.
Well, and the community. This is a community event. It's put on by the community for the community. And make sure you stop out. That's Saturday, September 26th. It starts at 3, especially for the little kids, and it goes till 10. Information is on the website. You can call over to Village Hall and talk to Monica. Thank you to everybody who's supporting it, all the organizations and nonprofits and everybody else. And let's make sure we come out and have a little bit of Oktoberfest coming up. So thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
We are at the corner of Lakeview Parkway and Hawthorne Parkway with Executive Director of the Vernon Hills Park District, Jeff Fougeroux. And we're kind of at a different spot for you guys. You've got a new sign out here on the corner because this corner here where the old Ope restaurant is going to look a lot different going forward. Can we talk a little bit about what's happening behind us? Not just the sign, but the whole thing.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we're really excited about this opportunity because, as you see back here, the OPA property was brought to our attention by John Kalmar and the village board in trying to do a tag team effort on the acquisition of the site and converting it into a park. So the plan for the future, in the immediate future, is we're going to demo the building. That should be completed by the end of September, early October. We should have the building down. From there, the property is probably going to sit as a parking lot for at least a couple years. So our position in terms of funding a park development, we've got to continue to just be able to access our reserve funds. And so to build up those over the next probably 2016, 2017, and then we'll be in a position to develop the park.
One thing I like to point out when it's the viewers here on the update, so it's not like you're going to see like an increase or something to help pay for this. You guys are planning for this over time, and it's just the opportunity came along to work in cooperation with the village to get this property secured.
That's exactly right. So it's not anything where we're passing any kind of the expense on to the taxpayer to develop this park. It's a little over 3 acres, so we see it as just an extension of Century Park. It'll be great for future festivals that we do, the Summer Celebration, the Rib Fest. We have, potentially some other smaller venues where an art festival, small farmer market kind of things, just small concerts that we can do within the Park District. So a great opportunity, just to the west of us, we've got Rust-Oleum's property that they acquired a couple years ago and spent some, good money to develop into a nice sales training. So we've got a nice partner just to the west of us. So I'm excited about how the opportunity is going to present itself, and I think the citizens will really appreciate what we have planned on.
Well, and I know a lot of people say, well, why didn't a restaurant go in? But my understanding was people looked at it, but the space was, larger or not what a lot of people coming in wanted. So it was just going to sit vacant. So the fact that the village and the Park District worked together, much better to have something happen with the property than have it sit dormant and then, then it starts going into disrepair. So.
Yeah, the property's been, I think for about 4 years now, it's been vacant. And I know the developer had looked at some opportunity maybe in terms of a condo / retail. The village wasn't really supportive of that. There hasn't been any restaurant bites on the site. So it is kind of a challenging, it's a 2-story property. It needs a lot of work. And so that was our position from the Park District. We're not in the restaurant business. We don't want to be in the restaurant business. So for us, it seemed better from a appropriate use in the future to just demo the site and create some more green space. And
having a parking lot there for a while, like you said, is it stays a parking lot for a little while. That's a great thing too. So.
Sure. For the festival uses that we see in the community, that's going to be ideal. Even moving forward with the development, we're going to still have adequate amount of parking on the site. Essentially, though, it'll be pretty green. And that's what we're in the business of as a park district. So we want to make sure that the site, at least the majority of it, is going to be green space, but we want to be cognizant of the future uses, and so we're also going to have the ability to put some parking stalls in there. I think we have scheduled somewhere between 35 and 40 parking stalls that we're going to still have on the site.
Those will be useful, that's for sure. So, and when we talk about green space, Century Park is one of the bigger parks in the whole. It's got to be one of the. It's got to be almost like forest preserve size. It's huge. You've got water, you've got the parks, you've got recreation spaces, you've got a lot of stuff going on here, and you've got a lot of things all over town. So for somebody who might be new or who forgets how big the Park District is, can you just do kind of like a little commercial for what you guys have for all of us?
Sure. I think, as an urban area, or suburban area, if you will, our forefathers did a terrific job in terms of just scribing out, open space, because Vernon Hills is like this to me, it's like this diamond, of a gem in terms of space. We have almost 500 acres of park space available to our residents, which is way beyond the national standards. We have 26 parks. That is a priority for us to make sure that we maintain good quality parks. I think obviously it helps with people's property values. We're very aware of that. We're very responsive to people if they have concerns about, issues relative to our parks. We make sure that there's adequate walking and transportation means within our parks, secure as well, lighting where we need appropriate, and then constantly staying on top of any new amenities that we need to introduce to the park. So like, for example, this fall, we've got a playground renovation that we're doing at Grosse Pointe Park, and we also have one at Peterson Park. And those are just annual maintenance issues that we have to address. And and then we're dealing with our master plan now at Deer Path Park, where we've got the Kids Castle project that is going to commence with a community demolition on the 17th and the 24th of October. And Amy Lamberti, who's been a kind of our steward as our community liaison, has done a terrific job. And you can go to our website, and there's information at vhparkdistrict.org, and you can pick up all the information if you want to contact Amy and join that list of people to help out as a community volunteer.
So can I back up then? Because the community built that, umpteen years ago, back when my kids were like not even born. And now the community can get together and help take it out. And what can we volunteer for that?
So that basically, yes, it was about 20 years ago when that community project commenced, and to basically get the planning and the construction of Kids Castle. And now it's time, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of sentiment to it, but it needs to be replaced. And so Amy is kind of she's leading the effort on that. And you can go online, you can email her, she'll take your information and provide you with some communication of what we're going to do with the initial days of October 17 and 24 to do demolition. And it's going to be in cooperation with the Parks Department, so we're very aware that we want to provide a safe environment for people. We're not going to hand them chainsaws to take down structures, but there's a lot of amenities within there that people can help with. And we know there's some sacred items that we want to make sure that we handle very delicately when we remove those, so that we can incorporate those into the new design. Okay. So So
thought is being, for instance, there's brick pavers, there's a lot of different artwork and pieces, so there is a plan to honor that kind of a thing then?
Absolutely. We're very aware of that, and so is our board, our staff, Amy as our liaison, and so we're going to make sure, and our designer, our landscape architect, that we've made it very clear to him that these are important matters. The brick paver issue is, those are for sale. You can go on our website. You can purchase those in $75, $150, and $300 denominations. So that's a great fundraising component of the effort, but at the same time giving some future recognition to your family and something that you can cherish. Now, those that bought bricks 20 years ago, we're going to salvage those, and we're going to clean those up, and we're going to replant those into the new design. And so
generation to generation.
Correct. Yes.
Well, and I know Amy has been she's been so good about honoring all that, because I know that park is so important to her and her kids and her neighbors and all of us here. And I know one of the things that you're trying to do, because there's been problems with bees and the wood rots and all that's hard to deal with, so that's one of the reasons all that is going to come out. But what you're trying to put in is you're trying to be very good about making it accessible to more people. So can we talk a little bit about some of the thought that's going into the new park that will be there?
Sure. So most of our parks have the fiber, what we call ground cover, which is a mulch material, and so it's not accessible for somebody that might be in a wheelchair, or even somebody that has some other, that may be disadvantaged in some other capacity. So the Kids Castle playground is going to have what's called a poured-in-place surface, and it's a large rubber membrane material that is completely accessible to all walks of life. And so what right now we're trying to really promote that this is a playground for all abilities, and we want to encourage that participation. So a lot of the amenities that we're putting in are accessible for people that might have hearing issues, might have sight issues, again, might have just some abilities where mobility issues and so there's areas that we found, there's amenities in there that are conducive for kids or even adults with autism. So those are components that we're trying to introduce to this large effort, and so far we've had good success with that.
Well, and it's kind of a sacred space for everybody here in town, so we're glad that you're continuing. It's nice that it's honored and it's going to continue. But keep that in mind, so don't be surprised. If you want to see the old Kids Castle, they better get over there. So and then check online to see how we can help. So that's really exciting. Other places you've got excitement going on are in some of your facilities. You've got the Lakeview Fitness Center, you've got Sullivan Center, and you've got some changes that you're working on or are preliminary or you're getting ready to do. Can we talk a little bit about kind of your future planning for those for Sullivan Center and other places?
Yes, so the park board has we've hired an architectural firm about 6 months ago. We've introduced some initial planning opportunities in terms of expansion at Sullivan Community Center. We've been talking about this for several years, and mainly what's been driving that is the admin staff that's being accommodated in the Lashen Community Center, and there's basically a lot of expense that the Park District has had to adhere in the decade plus that we've been in that facility, and that's going to continue. We've done some initial studies that we've presented to the village staff about some future expense on that. It really didn't make a lot of sense. So that precipitated us to kind of advance some conversation about expansion at Sullivan. So the plan at this point in the months of August and September is now we're soliciting community input. So at our, by the time people see this in our September board meeting, we welcome community input. And so when we get into the October month, we'll be more than likely in a position that we'll have some solidified plans in terms of what we want to do for Sullivan. Right now we're talking about just reintroducing a new entry point to Sullivan because of the current location is not really conducive to people when they park in our lot on the west end and the entrance. So having a more safe and secure preschool wing, adding another gymnasium to the facility, and then obviously relocating our current admin staff that's in Lashen over to Sullivan Center. So that's kind of the immediacy of what the initial plan is going to take place. Now, just adjacent to Sullivan is our aquatic center, and part of this whole plan is to also do we've got some pretty significant mechanical work that has to be put in place as well. New filter systems at our family aquatic center.
Just aged out kind of things?
Aged out, okay. Exactly. Yeah. So the long-range plan here is that now our facilities, being Sullivan, would be, let's just call it, have a nice clean bill of health moving forward. We've got a new state-of-the-art park maintenance facility that just opened a couple years ago, our Lakeview Fitness Center. So my plan obviously is to leave things in a better place when that time comes, but to have the ability that all our facilities now will just be in good shape. And
so then what do you think happens to Lashen? Has that been discussed?
That's not, it's been discussed with, I've discussed it with the village manager, and I'm not really certain at this point. It is a building owned and operated by the village, so I wouldn't say operate. I mean, they own it. I mean, we're operating it. So I'm not really sure what the future holds for that, but it is a pretty aged facility. Yeah.
It was aged when even the village moved out of there. So, yeah, but again, another time when everybody's cooperating in town. So that's a lot of things going on. And like you said, you have board meetings that are held at the Lashen Center. People are always welcome to come and listen, or even you have open comment times. So.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, our board meetings are the fourth Thursday of every month, so, you know, the last Thursday in September is 6:30. We'd welcome people to come and give us some input on things maybe they like to see at Sullivan that don't exist now. We're open to that, certainly. And there's even, just go to our website. We have, you know, general comments or contact my office. We're happy to, you know, take that on.
Well, and we talk about all the things going on. We got to give you a shout out for Rib Fest. That looked like it was one of the, it gets bigger every year and better every year, and it looked like you had great crowds for that. So thanks for putting that on.
Yeah, so our 5th year facilitating Rib Fest, our best year. The numbers aren't completely in at this point, but from preliminary figures, a real positive surplus this year. And, for those that don't know, I mean, any of the funds that are surplus from this event, we provide those to disadvantaged and needy families that are unable to participate maybe in some of our programs, mainly our day camps and kind of our larger expensed programs. And so this now gives those families the ability. We provide those assistance to them. So thanks to everybody for coming out to that. We had beautiful weather, and we couldn't have asked for just a nicer weekend.
It was beautiful. And another thing coming up that you do is you are the hayride experts at Oktoberfest, and you'll be there rolling through again.
We'll do that again. Our park staff does a terrific job in doing that. We also hand out complimentary tree plantings, saplings too. So our park staff will be on site, and those are just another way to try and promote the environment and have people. And we get people that come back and say, 6 years ago when I bought this, and now I've got a tree that's 4 or 5 feet high, and that's great. I mean, that's part of it.
Awesome. So watch for that over there at Oktoberfest. Other things you've got coming up, you said Polar Express is going, but as we talk, it might already be filled. So that's something somebody should go online, but that's where you get on the train and have story time.
My guess is by the time this airs, that's going to be full. I mean, that program fills up within a week or so, and it's a great, the Polar Time Story Time, it's Polar Express Story Time train, and that's held the first week in December at the Libertyville train station, and just a great event. 300 kids that have a terrific time, and yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Other things coming up, fall registration is underway now, but also be watching for that Park District basketball. That's always a hot one as we roll into the school year. Last day for the Aquatic Center is September 7th. Weather permitting, I mean, the way we're standing here now, it's like there could be ice on the water. Worldwide Day of Play, September 19th. Trucks, Trunks, and Treats, October 10th. And Fall Fest, October 30th. So right there, a lot of stuff. That's just a few things. There's a lot more.
Yeah, there's always this time of year as we wind down with summer, and then all of a sudden we've got so many events going on during the months of, September, October, November. The pumpkin launch comes in early November, and then we're into Polar Express, and we've got holiday events, and so our winter publication will come out in late October, early November. We've got our annual Winter Carnival that's going to come up in January. So a lot of events coming up, community, family events, in addition to what you mentioned, the youth basketball program, which is a huge success. And I also just want to point out, we just tomorrow, which would be the August whatever, we start our before and after school program that we are contracted with Hawthorne School District 73, and that program has elevated where we're accommodating 390 kids, and that's up 80 kids from prior years. So part of that is just additional space that the school district has opened up because it is such a popular need for parents, and so that's been a great welcome addition to the park district. We've added 3 additional full-time staff to facilitate it. We've added over 20 part-time employees, so a good employment effort for a lot of people that live and work in Vernon Hills. So we're excited about that. More excited that I think that we're able to accommodate that need for parents.
You're accommodating a need. It's bringing jobs to an organization that's already here in town, firmly rooted. It's again one of those kind of partnership things that we like to see as taxpayers, because that always bodes well when everybody's working in conjunction.
Yeah, and sure, I think I mentioned earlier about just some of our playground improvements at Grosse Pointe and Peterson Parks, and those are the types of things from like just our after-school program. Any surpluses from that, all those proceeds go into paying for these types of community projects. So I think The one real beauty of this program in terms of the park district is that any dollar that's proceeds from that effort is going to be invested back into our parks and our facilities, and that benefits the community as a whole because it's not coming out of their pocket, if you will. It's being just reversed back into and transferred back into improvements.
But at this point, we've talked about the website. Keep track of all those things going on. You can always call over to the Park District. You can show up at the board meetings. You can ask people what's going on, but it is important for everybody to get involved. Go over and take one last look at the Kids Castle and get involved with Mindy's project there, but stay involved in the community, and through the Park District is a great way to do it. So thank you to you and your staff and for keeping everything so beautiful. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks for the time today.
We are at Vernon Hills High School in front of the trophy case. There are trophy cases all over this place because there are awards for all these kids all over the place. But right now we're talking girls basketball, which is always a powerhouse. And we're talking about the younger girls who have the opportunity to move up in the feeder program. We're here to talk about the Vernon Hills Lady Cougar Girls Feeder Program here. And we're with Paul and Stacy Bretner, who've been involved with this for years. We were just saying, we've watched your kids grow up as we come and tape this every fall. So you guys have been doing this for a while, this labor of love here. So doing it again this year. And can we tell people a little bit about the program? What ages we're talking when we talk about the girls feeder program?
Sure. We're talking about 5th through 8th grade, and they have to be living within District 128 and also plan on attending Vernon Hills High School to be eligible to play for the program.
The season is such, I know there's different sorts of programs out there, and I know different activities, but you guys, in the past, I know you've said we try to accommodate a lot of things because we want people to be involved.
Yeah, we like the kids to play other sports, definitely. But yeah, we accommodate everyone. We have tryouts, and everyone comes to try out and work hard and hopefully make the team.
Excellent. Let's talk about when tryouts are. They're coming up at the beginning of October again already.
Yes, we're having tryouts October 5th, October 7th, and October 11th. So we have 3 tryout dates. We'd like the girls to attend all of them if possible, but if they can only attend 1 or 2, that's okay.
And there's more, you've got a website with a lot of information, or that's the sort of thing, if we call and talk to you, you can give a hand. Or if there's a child that's been involved in the program before, they always have a lot of information too.
Yes, we post everything on our website, our tryout dates, our parent meetings, anything, information that you need to be involved in the program.
And to be involved too, are there waivers or anything that people should be prepared to sign or have ready to send with the child if they're riding with somebody else?
Yeah, they can pre-register as well. All the forms will be on our website, and they can pre-register, and then that way they are all set when they show up and ready to go.
Excellent. So we got 3 nights. You'd like them for all 3. And prior to this, you have always done a little freebie. And I know as we stand here and tape this, you're still trying to figure out when you can get gym space over here at the high school, but you still going to plan for a freebie?
Absolutely. We, every year prior to tryouts, we do a 4th and 5th grade girls basketball combined free clinic. It's usually an hour, hour and a half, something like that. It depends on the gym space. And we just run through some drills and get some scrimmaging going, and it's usually a lot of fun.
It's fun, and it gives the girls an idea of what's to come when they come to a tryout, so they're not surprised. Absolutely. That said, can you tell mom, dad, and any girls watching what might happen in a tryout?
Any given tryout, where, there's skill evaluation and some competitive instances where they're trying to scrimmage against each other, and we're just trying to determine the best fit for the girls as well as the teams.
Okay, so a little bit of playing the ball, a little bit of like handling the ball. Right. So what are some things that you'd like to see? If somebody wanted to get ready before, like, can they just bouncing the ball in their driveway has to help, right?
Absolutely. Anything they can do skill-wise on their own is pretty simple. So if they can do some ball handling, if they've been to our camps, they have some things they can do. Otherwise, YouTube has got plenty of things to look at. But any ball handling, if they find a basket they can shoot, plenty of shooting. Those 2 things would increase their abilities going into tryouts, which would be great.
Comfort level. And that said, if somebody's never played basketball before, especially if they're at those lower grades, is that something that you welcome to a tryout because it's an experience?
Yes, we want as many young people as we can get because we want to form them into wonderful basketball players. So we hope that they would come and show up, and we'll show them all the drills and things that they need to go forward.
Well, when we talk about molding girls into basketball players, I know one of the things you guys always think about is just the human factor. You know, find young women with confidence and skills and teamwork, and a place that they can work together. So I know that you like to take those skills beyond the basketball court. Is that still kind of something you guys really plug into the program?
Absolutely. We like to think of it as not just the feeder kids and the high school kids separate. We like to think of a 5th grade through 12th grade program, and hopefully even beyond that, where the graduates come back and either help out with the feeders or help out with the high school, or at least attend games. And yeah, we've had great alumni support from kids coming back, but I think part of that is that we strive to make not only better basketball players, but better people. Put them in positions where they can learn things like leadership and teamwork and things that are going to be very valuable outside of the high school setting when they grow up and go to college and beyond.
Anything that makes you confident and able to, perform under pressure, that's good for everybody. And I know you guys like to do little things too, like pasta parties and things like that.
Yeah, we do pasta parties with the high school. We also do a Northwestern outing where we go watch college basketball, and we have pasta parties ourselves. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of good things.
Well, so let me remind everybody, October 5th, 7th, and 11th, those are the tryout days. And coming up prior to that, watch the website, because toward the end of September, we assume there'll be like that free clinic day. So check out for that. And when we talk about all this exciting stuff going on, exciting stuff always at the high school too. So when you talk about the girls who've come back and helped, you've got girls that have really excelled through Coach Bretner's program here at the high school. So shout out to all those girls who come back and get back to these younger ones and really serve as role models. They are amazing, and they've been amazing all the way through school.
Absolutely. We've had countless people come back either supportive and by showing up to our games. I've had coaches on our staff who used to play for us, coaches on Stacy's staff coaching for them. They're great people, and it's always good to see them.
Well, and a lot of good people have been involved in this program for a long time. We've got people like Rocco Pasola, and you've got all the people like your coaches and your family, the families that make sure there's snacks and all that kind of stuff. You've got just a whole roster of people that have supported
We
this.
do. We have a board, and they've been around for a really long time. Rocco Pasola and Rick Binder and Susan Bennett Swanson, who her daughter went through my program and Paul's program. So we have a lot of people in our program that we're very thankful for. All of our team moms who help out. Can't thank them enough.
And the parents in general. I mean, our high school parents as well as the feeder parents are so supportive, so giving. We wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today without their support.
Good teams, good kids, good opportunities, fun time. That's right. You should make shirts like that or something, folks. So make sure you go on their website. If you have questions, you can stop these guys. They're around town. They're doing stuff all the time. Ask questions, find out more. But this is the Vernon Hill. I have to make sure I read it right. Vernon Hills Lady Cougar Feeder Basketball Program, and they are #1. And congratulations to all you for all your successes so far, and have a great season.
Thanks for your time, Lynn.
Thank you very much.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Storno at 847-918-3560 or email Mike S. at thehills.org. Thank you for tuning in to the Vernon Hills Update.